What happens when a technologically advanced alien race decides they want to colonize Earth? And in order to do it, they genetically modify a group of giant monsters, sending them through a rift to our world, and we have to combat them with monsters of our own. Jaegers, giant mechanical soldiers. And what happens when we blow the breach that they use to get into our world? But they slowly wait, so that they can seed themselves back into our world and create their end game weapon, their most overpowered and terrifying kaiju yet. One that can cause an extinction level event on Earth, making room for them to fully colonize this planet. I'm a huge fan of Pacific Rim. I'm sorry if there's noise being heard outside my home. There's a bunch of degenerate teenagers doing stupid things with cars. I might catch an assault case right after this video is done. But regardless, my GOAT when it comes to kaiju films is Pacific Rim 1. I love this goddamn movie. It's my favorite kaiju movie of all time, and I know there's a lot of kaiju fans that probably love a lot of other movies, a lot of Godzilla movies. Godzilla -1 is like the industry standard for monster movies. I get it. But this movie hits different. When I watched this in the theater for the first time, it was 2013. I was a teenager. I lost my mind. I fell in love. I've never had an experience like that. The monster fights are fucking awesome. Look at this Jaeger carrying a freaking cargo ship, using it as a baseball bat to smack this one kaiju with. This is awesome. This is incredible. The kaiju designs in this are awesome too. These are some of my favorite monsters ever put to screen. The characters, Charlie Hunnam, Idris Elba, they're all amazing. These three characters are like my favorite characters I've seen in any monster movie in like the last maybe 10 years. Even the Godzilla films by Legendary, a lot of their characters are shit. They don't come close to this. The charisma, the aura, the energy, the emotions you feel with them. We don't get characters like this anymore in kaiju films, I feel. The lore, precursors, ancient aliens that came down here long ago in the dinosaur age. Apparently some of the dinosaurs that were on Earth were their initial kaiju before they genetically advanced them and grew them larger. And then they waited for us to terraform the planet with global warming so they could release these beasts upon us, causing a full-out war. I love the idea of neural load. Two pilots having to jump into a ship, share the neural load through memories melding together while they fight in unison. I love everything about this. Yes, of course, it's taking a lot of inspiration from Neon Genesis and a bunch of other stuff, but Guillermo del Toro, the fact that he was able to put this vision on screen, I love this. Then we have Pacific Rim 2, which shows Guillermo cannot be replaced, because when you do and you try to make subpar writers and directors make the same film, it's crap. It's crap. This movie is shit. Simply put, this movie's bad. The characters, nothing compared to the characters from the first one. Nothing at all. The main character is basically Idris Elba's son from the first movie. Nowhere near as interesting as Idris Elba. Okay? Clint Eastwood's son continues to lack charisma at all. Every time I see this dude in a role, this dude has nothing to him. There's nothing of interest about him. He's just like a good-looking Chad who has no personality. Kaylee Spaney is likable in this. I like her in pretty much everything she's in. She's one of my favorite actresses coming in the last 5 years. But the only problem is she's surrounded in this subplot with a bunch of teenagers who are trying to be soldiers and go into Jaegers. And they're like bullying each other, and it's like high school drama shit. And I'm like, why is this even a thing in the Pacific Rim story? It's so cliche. Most of the characters suck. The jokes that are said at the time don't land. It reminds me a lot of Independence Day 2, where the cast of characters they had is nowhere near as interesting as like Jeffrey Goldblum and Will Smith from the first. It's a severe downgrade and it's so noticeable. Kaylee Spaney should have played Ellie in Last of Us, by the way. Like, this is just a fact. I have nothing against the actress that they picked, but we all know it was Kaylee Spaney is the real G. The Last of Us Season 1 is overrated, by the way. I just wanted to say that. The only character that I half liked in this, besides Kaylee's, is Adria Arjona. Because look at her. That's the only reason. Everything else sucks. And her scenes with these two, where they have like this love triangle comedy romance, it's so cringe. It's so cringe. I don't know who writes this shit anymore, man. They need to really give me the writer's room. And they also have Jaeger kaiju hybrids that are some of the main villains in this. This movie's a mess. But one thing cannot be denied. The final monster in this film is one of the most badass things ever put to screen. I need to stop this video to tell you right now. You need to like the video, otherwise Hollywood will molest me. I have a mission to take over Hollywood completely so we can save storytelling and cinematic visions forever. Hollywood doesn't want me to do this. They might take me hostage one of these days, so I can't do this war alone. I need you to like and subscribe. Blow this video into the ether. Join my army. The Jaegers are fighting 3 kaiju in a final fight. The fight's pretty cool. The Jaegers are actually low-key beating the kaiju's asses. They're throwing all kinds of weaponry. It's looking fun. They're styling on these kaiju. Then this dude, Newt, basically the dude from the first movie who tried to interface and do a neural link with the kaiju, and the precursors found his mind and decided to possess him basically and make him their slave. He is helping the aliens, and he lets loose these things, these Jaeger kaiju hybrid insect-like creatures, and they have the ability to amalgamate these 3. They start swarming these 3 kaiju and fusing them together into one being. Into a being that's so strong, so big, and so terrifying. I'd off myself if I ever saw this thing grow. I mean, I wouldn't off myself because I would low-key be getting off to it at the same time because I love kaiju, but goddamn, this thing's terrifying. And when you see it rise up, you start to realize, okay, this dude is bigger than most kaiju we've ever seen. This dude is bigger than Slattern, who was the biggest kaiju we saw in the first Pacific Rim movie. Slattern is huge. He's way bigger than Godzilla. He probably is one of the biggest kaiju we've ever seen on screen, and this creature is confirmed by that director to be bigger than that, over 500 feet easily. This might be the 3rd largest kaiju I've ever seen on screen. Godzilla Earth is obviously bigger than him. Cloverfield, from Cloverfield Paradox, as an adult who's able to reach up the goddamn clouds, is bigger. Maybe Shimu and Void Ghidorah, of course, because I don't even count him. Besides that, I think this is like the biggest being we've seen. Look at this! He rises up and look at the shadow. Look, they're all looking up at him like, oh, fuck. This is aura. This is straight up aura right here. The way he looks at them. And by the way, this picture does not show you how big he is. He is way farther from them than you think. He's not right in front of them. He's a couple street blocks away from them at the very least. That's how massive this fucker is. They're decided, okay, fuck it, fire everything at this mofo. We can't risk shit. So they try to run and fire every single missile they have. This dude takes his fist, plants it into the ground, sending a shockwave that sends all these... These are Jaeger. They're massive, fuctillion-pound mechanical suits. They go flying into the air like they're nothing. This Mega Kaiju has the ability to absorb the kinetic energy of any attack they throw at him and shoot it back out of them. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the gambit of Kaiju. He has 3 brains because these 3 Kaiju formed into one, so they try to attack the 3 brains. Even that doesn't work. He starts stabbing into them and throwing them around like they're nothing, for God's sakes. These are teenagers in the Jaeger too. They're all dying. A lot of them are dying. I hate these teenage characters in the movie. I'm so glad they are. That's why I love this kaiju. Gypsy Danger is getting thrown across the city with a single blow. He grabs one of the kaiju and bites it in half like it's nothing. Breaks another kaiju in half with its tail. Look at this. This isn't a fight. This is a slaughter. You see that thing that's coming out of the robot? You see this little dot over here? That's them ejecting themselves out because they're like, fuck it, this is a losing battle. We're out. No kaiju has ever done this. Jaegers do not lose this easily. The final act is this is the ultimate endgame kaiju. Why? Because he's the only one big enough and powerful enough to ascend to Mount Fuji. Why do they want to go to Mount Fuji? Because this creature will jump into Mount Fuji and explode that shit, causing Mount Fuji to erupt, and the belt of volcanoes, called the Ring of Fire, will all erupt at the same time, causing an extinction level event. That volcanic ash will destroy our atmosphere and fuck us over. It'll be like Yellowstone going off, and you don't want that. Earth is dead. We're fucking dead. The aliens will come through and destroy us. It's an extinction level event. So this creature's crawling up Mount Fuji, all right? And it doesn't look like a speck when it's doing that. Mount Fuji's huge. It looks pretty big. In one of the most nonsensical, ridiculous ways to kill a being, but kind of fun at the same time. They use rockets to go up into space, and then this Jaeger drops down from orbit in like a Superman punch. I don't know how the hell he's able to target himself so perfectly onto this kaiju, but he finds a way to get to the kaiju. And when he does, all the way from space, he smacks right into him, creating a goddamn shockwave that should have not only killed the 2 main characters, but should have erupted Mount Fuji, to be honest. Look at this fucking shockwave. This should have not only eradicated everyone, plus the city, it should have erupted Mount Fuji. This scene makes absolutely no sense. It's really fun to watch and look at, but if you really think about it, everyone would die immediately. This is an awesome monster that's wasted in a bad movie. Pacific Rim 2 is bad. Not only in comparison to the first one, it's just not a good movie. It's like, it reminds me of the worst of the Roland Emmerich movies, or Independence Day 2. I believe he should have been the main villain throughout the film that nobody could stop. Maybe until the end. And he's just making his way to Mount Fuji from point A to point B, and the whole goal of the movie is to try to stop him and prevent him, but he's literally unstoppable. That would have been the most white-knuckle plot I've ever seen. Instead, we have robot kaiju hybrids that are fighting and doing stupid shit, and we have all these multitude of characters we don't care about. No. It should have been a race to Mount Fuji to stop this creature. From second act to third act, that's what should have been, and these two should have been the main characters. No Clint Eastwood's son, none of these other dumbass characters, just have these two. They're the most likable in the movie. The main question is, though, who wins in a fight? Mega Kaiju or Godzilla? A lot of Godzilla stands are about to come in here, alright? I understand. I am talking about legendary Godzilla. I'm not talking about any other incarnation. I'm not talking about Shin Godzilla who's unkillable or whatever. I'm not talking about, there's a Godzilla that beat God in the comics apparently, or something like that. I'm not talking about some Mary Sue next level Godzilla that can beat God, okay? You can beat everyone at that point, right? No, fuck that. I'm talking about legendary Godzilla. The size difference is going to be a problem for Godzilla in the beginning. My guy's going to have his way with, he might ragdoll Godzilla a bit. He's got speed too. He's not just big. He has mobility in his arms. He can move fast. He can whip his tail fast. He has kinetic energy. He can absorb Godzilla's atomic breath maybe and shoot it back out. Who knows? Who knows the extent of it? The only issue is Godzilla's fought bigger kaiju before in the form of Shimu. Shimu was massive. If you've seen Godzilla X Kong, you know how big this motherfucker is. I think Godzilla also fucked it too. I think they hooked up after, to be honest. Shimu's a woman, and you know, who else can hook up with Godzilla? Godzilla also has durability. Godzilla can tank nukes for breakfast and get more powerful. He's shown way more durability. He's shown way more. I don't think the Mega Kaiju even comes close to Godzilla in durability. That Jaeger that dropped down from space, that might knock Godzilla out, but you're not dying from that. Not ever. Godzilla is on a different level when it comes to durability, and I think that would ultimately win him the fight. I think he'd get rocked up a little bit in the first, like, maybe round. Let's take it like a UFC fight. First round, the Mega Kaiju might rock him up. Might even get a 10-8 round. Second round, the Mega Kaiju starts to realize Godzilla's not going away. Third round, Godzilla gets a KO in the form of atomic breath through the mouth, killing all the brains that the Mega Kaiju has. That's how it would go, okay? Godzilla wins. Yes, Godzilla stands. You can enjoy now. But if you want to know a being that might pose more problems to Godzilla, I made a whole video on that. The Clash of the Titans Kraken. If you want to know why, watch this video here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.